Good morning, everybody. Hope y'all are having a happy holidays. I'm Tyler with Team Nucanoe, and today I just wanted to show y'all a little comparison between the Nucanoe Unlimited and the Unlimited MAX. As you can see, this thing is way beefier than the Unlimited was. So if you're kind of on the fence about this and don't really, everybody's saying, oh, it's only a foot difference. Y'all added a battery box and added a foot to the kayak. It's big. Like there's no doubt it's a bigger boat. And when you get on it, you feel that it's that much bigger. I mean, stability wise, you can walk on this thing easily. And I feel, like in testing with the prototypes that we had at Lanier, we were stepping across from one boat to the other. I mean, it's insane the amount that extra foot gives you, and just the contouring of the boat. They added a little more to the flare of this, and it's a little wider going further out on the bow, so it doesn't feel so much like a canoe in the front like the Unlimited did. So I got some overhead shots I'll throw in there, let y'all see from the overhead perspective what that actually looks like, and you can see the difference in these boats. I mean, it's incredible. So I'm gonna show you a couple key features that we had changed and things that I like about the boat compared to the way the Unlimited was set up. So y'all check this stuff out. If you got any comments, questions, concerns, feel free to reach out to me and I'll help you with however I can. The Unlimited MAX. Check out the freaking bow on this. So you look at the boat head on, these are the wave brakes that we have installed on this boat. So we gained that much in height on the front, and you also get these wave brakes. Like I said, they increase the width on the bow, so the boat is actually wider further forward on the kayak. So when you hit the waves and you hit water and it's rough and choppy, the water is actually being shot away from the hull, versus the Unlimited, which had more of the traditional canoe style where it just kind of come up. There is a little bit of a flare, but anybody who's ridden in this thing with any kind of speed, you can't get wet. So the MAX has a huge improvement there. Moving on down. So the MAX has a new handle. That is the Unlimited's handle. I've got a third-party XI3 mount made up on mine. I got a handle here. I like grabbing it from the back though, because it's got the 2 bolts. So you get a better purchase on the actual kayak instead of pulling from the front screw that's underneath the plate. Just a personal preference, but y'all do what you want to do. On the MAX, you got a grip mount. So this thing is is with the Unlimited. This is the grip mount. So Nucanoe wanted to add in the availability to you, if you wanted to. Take this loose, flip it over, and you actually have 2 holes here and here for the XI3 mount and the Tarova mount to fit onto this handle. You don't have to buy a third party if you don't want to. You buy this boat, you can go ahead and mount a trolling motor to it. So get you a little puck, mount your puck there, and get a wiring kit, you're all set up. The next thing that they've improved upon, we've got the access port. For the Unlimited, it was a smaller access port. You look at it, you got the Yak Attack. I got a through-hole fitting right there with my HD kit, wire kit coming out. But change this port, and on the MAX, the HD access plate. So on the Unlimited, the hole was actually, you had to drill a hole through the hull and then line this up so that it was matched up right, or drill straight through your access port to the hole to make sure the holes were lined, and then run your wiring. With this, I'll show you a quick picture or a quick shot in the back. It's already cast into the hole. So now you got an open port, and you have this plate, which is the HD access plate. It's got a gasket. It's a rubberized gasket made into the actual plate. So the top is hard plastic, and then this piece is molded in, and it's got a grip, a seal all the way around. So whenever you mount this down, the gasket's actually gonna overhang the lip and seal that off whenever you mount it down. And I mean, that thing's stout. There's no flex in it. It's it's there. So big improvement. You get those, and then there's 2 of the access ports, the old traditional ones on the side. So you guys running fish finders up here and want to run your wires through the sides of the boat, you still have the access ports here that you can run them through. But the HD plates on the front and back are great because you can run your bigger plugs, bigger wires, multiple wires if you want to, and gives you better access through that. They did away with the twist lock that used to be on the Unlimited. Well, still is on the Unlimited, but that's where the Max and the Unlimited are different. So looking at it, you got the battery box, HD access port, and they've increased the height of the stern back here. So if you look at the stern of the Unlimited versus the Max, I mean, that thing is just, I'd have to pull a tape on it to see what the actual difference is, but you can see there's a good bit of difference on them. So that's the Max, that's the Unlimited. I mean, you could see, I got the outboard plate on this one because I usually run that one for inshore fishing, but look at the difference. They've also increased the height down the side of the gunnel, and these things are stout. So that was the access ports. Next, we're going to move into the actual bow cap that they have here. So they took this from the U10. It's a little beefier than the U10s. The U10 has it's a narrower, I say it's narrower, it's not really narrower. It's not as rigid feeling as this one is. So the Unlimited Max, you get this extra with the rod staging grooves on the front. You guys that don't run gear pods, or even running the gear pods, you can lay your rods on the side, the ones that you're actually using. If you're going through, say, a jig, using a jig for a follow, or a worm for a follow-up bait, you can leave that rod laying up on deck, be casting with the other, sit it down on one side, and you still keep them separated so that your baits aren't getting all tangled up. On the Unlimited, we didn't have that. Like I said, it's the standard, just straight shot canoe setup, canoe style bow. So that was one thing that was pretty neat. It increased volume up top, which helps with all that water getting over the sides, versus the Unlimited, which is kind of just a straight shot. Say you're running top water in the morning, you get finished with top water, and you're not gonna be throwing that anymore, and you put it up for the day or until you're ready to fish topwater again. They've incorporated the reel bays into these so that you can slide your rod in here, and this is a 7/9 Dobbins rod, and even that fits in here just fine. It goes all the way to the front and keeps your rod tip safe, keeps all your guides safe, so that whenever you're finished with that rod, you're not worried about it going overboard or bumping it or lines getting caught on whatever. That's out of the way, and then you can still lay your other rods on top and keep them separated with the channel, the little pieces of channel up here for the rod staging. Pretty good feature considering what we had on the Unlimited. So on the Unlimited, you stick your rod tip in the tip protector, and if you can get it to bow just right, it would lay in there. Now that's the 7/9 Dobbins rod, same setup in the tip protector. It still leaves a lot of access to the rod. I'm not knocking it, but I didn't really use the tip protector. I would just lay my rod over here on the side, and I didn't try and stick it in the little cone in the front. So big improvement on that. The Max, once again, slide your rod tip in, and then it slides back in that butt. That is not going anywhere. You can't get that out of the boat, and your rod tips are protected. All your guides are protected. I'd say that was a big improvement. We got the scupper system. So this is the performance scupper. It's notched on both sides so that whenever you turn this thing a half turn or whatever, if you turn it half a turn, there's an O-ring that seats down. So whenever you screw that in all the way to the plug, to the little cups that are inside the bottom of the hole, when you screw it all the way in, that O-ring catches and doesn't let water in. And then whenever you want to drain water or let water flow, you turn it a half turn and the water's able to run by and dump out it. I think we were getting about 3 or 4 seconds to drain 3 inches of water out of this boat. I want to try it. It takes you more time to undo all the scuppers to get the water to drain, I think is what most of the issue is. So we're still working on that, but it worked great. And with the increased volume of this boat, the buoyancy, the boat actually sits high enough. I don't even think water gets to the scuppers. The Unlimited, known for how quickly it drains with the tarpon drainage system. You still have the channels cut in the Max like the Unlimited has. The Unlimited she sheds water so great. You could spearhead waves and never get anything in the boat. So that was kind of good. Testing this out, so far I haven't had an issue with getting that much water in the boat. So I'm still gonna push it a little bit. I think we're gonna try and go out to the jetties one of these days. But it's done good so far. So far I haven't had any issues with water, which is a good thing. All right, moving down the line. Battery box. We got these heavy duty latches, and let me tell you, they're heavy duty. But there's been a lot of controversy over having to cut into your actual kayak. With a little bit of know-how, you can drill a hole and mount one of the access plates on there, and you could even back it through the access plate if you wanted to. If some people don't want the holes in the boat, you may use this for some other storage. You may put a live well back here. There's all kinds of options you can do. You may not want the holes in the front. You may want them in the back. So they left that up to you. It will hold 2 of these batteries. I've got this is a 36 volt, 50 amp hour, and I've got a Nucanoe lithium 12 volt, 100 amp hour. They'll fit side by side in this battery box, no problems. And right now we just got the HD wiring kit wired to the front and my 36 volt wire set up for running the NK300, because I will run this with two motors on it, especially whenever I'm fishing tournaments or whatever. Go out fun fishing, you can motor to your spot, drop the bow mount if you got a windy day, and fish all you want. So, stout handles. But you could put other stuff back here. Anything you want to keep dry. The gasket, it has a gasket on the bottom. So there's a gasket that lines up. And this thing, you can probably see the lip is almost an inch deep all the way around. It's almost an inch deep, 2 inches in the front almost. And that's just going to keep the water out because it's got the higher access, so it splits, and that piece is able to, the actual lid is able to slide into the groove like you see there. It keeps it all dry. I know that. So we did get a little bit of rain yesterday. This thing's completely dry. So that's a good addition to have. No more black packs with batteries in them, no more battery boxes. On the Max, you just drop it inside the hatch and you're good to go. The Unlimited, you had to put a battery back there in the back. They had the narrow spot back there in the back. And you guys know, you run a battery back there, it was loose, it wasn't protected at all, and now we have a better option with the Max. The 16 by 16 question, this is a 13 by 16, I don't have a 16 by 16 black pack, but slid back against the battery box, because you're probably not going to get in the battery box much whenever you're fishing. I got rod holders on both sides, so that's increasing the width, and the seat with the side tray will rotate all the way around and not hit the black pack. Now this is a setup where I was fishing from yesterday. I got the EPS system set up so my foot pedals slid wherever it needed to be to feel comfortable for my liking. So I had the seat slid back to wherever. This boat rode just fine, set up just like this. So I feel comfortable in saying you could put a 16 by 16 back here. You can almost put 2 of them. You won't be able to spin if you put 2, but like I said, the seat will spin with the extra rod holders on the black pack. They'll fit sideways on there, and you can slide it up. I'm sure there's room enough for a 16 by 16 right there. So that's great that that'll fit there. I know a lot of people were asking about that, being able to get one behind you and a battery. And this thing's still accessible because you can just flip it around, get in your box, do what you gotta do. And you still got room to spin your seat. Just look at the boats, man. I mean, the hull is a lot more robust on the Max. It's called the Max for a reason. So that's the comparison, guys. If you got any other questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I try and answer everything. But that's the Unlimited, 84 pounds, 12.5 feet. This is the Max. It's going to be 13.5 feet and roughly about 115 pounds. Looking at a price point of $24.99 versus $18.99 for the Unlimited. If you're on the fence, I foresee I don't use this boat very much anymore. I'm going to be moving into the Max. I've got mine ordered. It'll be here January, February sometime. I think they said they'll probably be the end of January when they start running them out. So, and I'm telling you, once everybody gets in this, after being in one of those, that boat's gone. I just feel like it's going to be gone. There's going to be a unique person who buys these, but this thing, if you can afford it and you're able to get into this, is going to be a game changer. So be looking for a lot of content coming out of this guy for the next couple weeks. And this one we're going to try and use a little bit too, but most of it's going to be in the Max. It's an improvement. Everybody, you know how Nucanoe does. You guys want improvements here and there. That's the delivery. So get out to a dealer, demo, get your order in, and hope to see y'all on the water in an Unlimited Max this year, 2026.